In Lesson 7, we're going to be working with images in Expression Web 4. Images are a vital part of the web, and it's important that you understand how to include them in your pages in the right way. It's also important to know how Expression Web works with images so that you utilize all these functions properly. In this lesson, you'll learn how to import images into Expression Web 4 the right way, how to place images in a page, how to use the Picture Properties dialog to restyle the images, and how to use images as hyperlinks. So far in the series, we've only been working with text. Now it's time to include some images into that text to spiff up the pages a bit. To work with images in Expression Web, you first need to import them. You import images into Expression Web using the same function we used in Lesson 5 when we imported the rules.html page. Go to File, select Import and File, and then navigate to the lesson files for this hour. In the lesson files, you'll find a single file called olympicflame.jpg. Select it, click Open, and OK to import the page. Now before we do anything else, let's do some file management. If you leave all your files in the root folder, it'll quickly become cluttered, so it's a good idea to create folders that contain different elements. In this case, we want to create a simple folder for all the images. So right-click inside Folder List, select New and Folder, and give the folder the name Images. Now you can simply drag and drop the Olympic Flame image into that folder, and it's there for safekeeping. Now that we have the image inside our site, it's time to add it to a page. Open the default.html page, and we'll get started. I want to place the image right after the heading, so I'll place my cursor at the end of the heading and hit Enter to create a new paragraph. Now I can add the image. The most basic way of adding an image is to go to Insert on the main menu and select Picture from File and navigate to the image in question. It's right here under the Images folder. I'll select it and click Insert. This opens the Accessibility Properties panel. Accessibility is becoming more and more important on the web because not everyone uses the same type of browser. In many cases, people will use text-only browsers or even text-to-speech browsers. For those, adding an alternate text to your image is vitally important to describe what that image is. So the alternate text is actually a description of that image that will show up for people with text-to-speech browsers, text-only browsers, or if the image does not load for some reason. Let's add the alternate text, the Vancouver 2010 Olympic Flame, and hit OK. Now right away you'll see that this image is huge. In fact, if we save the page and preview it on our browser, you'll see it's so big that I have to scroll left and right and up and down to see the whole image. That's just not going to work. To change the size of the image, we're going to use the Picture Properties. Right-click on the image and select Picture Properties from the context menu. This opens the Picture Properties dialog. From here, you see where the image is currently located, and you can change it if you want to. You see the accessibility text, the alternate text, the Vancouver 2010 Olympic Flame, and you can also add a long description if you want to. And you can go to Appearance and change things like wrapping style, layout, and size. I'm not going to talk about the wrapping style and layout at all. We're going to cover this later in the series, but we're not going to use this panel for it. This is kind of a quick and dirty way of doing it. We're going to do it the proper way. In this case, let's just talk about the size. You can resize the image to anything you want, as long as you keep this Keep Aspect Ratio button checked. If you don't, the image will get squished either horizontally or vertically. With the Keep Aspect Ratio button checked, change the width to 800 pixels, and you'll see the height changes with it, and click OK. Now the image is smaller, and if we save it and reload the browser, you'll see it fits nicely within our browser window. This, of course, is not the ideal situation, because now you're leaving it up to the browser to resize the image, and depending on what browser people use, that function might not work all that well, so the image might look kind of strange. Now there are better ways of doing this that will be covered later on in this series. As you surf the web, you've probably noticed that a lot of images are clickable. They are in fact hyperlinks. Earlier in this series, you learned how to create hyperlinks out of text, and now it's time to do the same with images. It is done the exact same way. you simply right-click the image and select Hyperlink, and here you can insert whatever hyperlink you want. In this case, I want the image to link directly to the Vancouver 2010 website, which is found at http://vancouver2010.com. I'll add a screen tip. OK, reactivate Expression Web, and set the target frame to new window so it opens in a new window. OK, and save the page. Now when I reload the page, you'll see as I hover my mouse over the image, the screen tip appears, and if I click it, it opens a new window directly to the Vancouver 2010 website. Now with a regular hyperlink, if you wanted to edit it, you had to go back to the hyperlink properties. But this is an image, and the hyperlink information we just added is actually included in the picture properties panel. So if we right-click and go to picture properties, you'll see right here under hyperlink that that location is there and the target frame is there, and you can edit it from within this window. Removing images is done the exact same way you would remove text. Simply click the image and hit delete on your keyboard, and the image goes away. I did this to show you that there's a different way of adding images inside pages. You don't have to go to insert, picture, and from file and then navigate to the image. You can also grab it directly from the folder list and drop it into Design View. When you do, the accessibility properties dialog opens again, you add a new alternate text, and the image reappears. Likewise, there's a different way of resizing images. Instead of going into the picture properties, you can kind of do a quick and dirty resizing on the fly by selecting the image, grabbing the bottom right corner, and dragging to resize the image. Now notice as I do this that I can distort the image by making it more narrow or more wide. To avoid this, hold down the Shift key on your keyboard while you resize it, and the image will be constrained to the proportions. As long as you let go of the mouse key before you let go of the Shift key, the image will then retain its proportions as you resize it. We can make it a lot smaller this time. Remember to hold down the Shift key. Let go of the mouse first and then the Shift key. Save it. And reload the page. And you'll see the image is now nice and small. Now we've added an image from within our site, but in many cases you want to add images from other sites. In the next lesson, we'll look at how to use images from other sites and other sources and include them into your website the exact same way we just did.